Coming up on Mountain News this morning, it's never too late to talk. That's what one court is saying as it tries to find a different approach to justice. And officials are looking for ways to send more funding to victims of this month's tornado, even if it means organizing a special session.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning and a happy Friday to you. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this May 30th. It is 6:28 this morning and it's time to check on in with meteorologist Eric Dean. Eric, we've got that fog, we've got that rain, and I know you're looking at other things on that radar too.
That's right. Just to the west of us, we do have some shower and thunderstorm activity. ETA for Eastern Kentucky about 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. We'll get to that coming up in just a few minutes. Take a look here at the scene in Jackson County right now. This is near the McKee area, 63 degrees. Our dew point's at 63. That means our humidity, we are sitting at a fat 100%. We have a south wind at 5 miles per hour. Other temperatures in the low to mid 60s. 61 in Hazard, Manchester's at 64, London's at 64, Somerset, Monticello, good morning to you. You're at 66 degrees. There's live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see that system knocking on Eastern Kentucky's door. You can see it's just to the west of us, but again, 7 to 8 o'clock is when it's going to start pushing through, and you can see there's a lot more where this is coming from. Low pressure is in charge. It's going to push its way to the north and the northeast. So again, we're going to be monitoring this very, very close. We're going to make a run for the mid 60s today, but you can see we'll see that high in the morning hours, and once that front pushes through, the temperatures are going to drop throughout the day. But I have some good news somewhere on the 7-day. We'll talk about that and go beyond the 7-day forecast coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. But right now, the current time, it's 6:30 on the dot. We'll toss it back to Amelia.
Thank you, Eric. A Harlan restaurant is now the site of a drug investigation. Yesterday, Drug Enforcement Administration officers and Kentucky State Police troopers were seen at Cezanne Steakhouse. DEA officials tell WYMT that they were there on a judicial authorized law enforcement operation that's actually part of a drug investigation. And that's all that they would tell us. The restaurant later posted on Facebook that they are open again. 3 people were arrested on sex-related charges involving several children. State police say the investigation started nearly 1 year ago when they were contacted by the Wolfe County Department for Community-Based Services. They were able to identify 5 victims. 47-year-old David Parks and 40-year-old Alicia Parks, both of Campton, and 40-year-old Rebecca Mann of Beattyville face various charges. A Laurel County woman behind bars after she was accused of neglecting children in the roadway. Police arrested Paige Smith yesterday morning. Deputies received a call from dispatch about 2 kids in the road on Highway 490. When they arrived, they say they found the children with no adults, parents, or even caretakers present. The Department for Community-Based Services were called to take the children. A Pike County man was indicted by a grand jury last week for reportedly going inside a home and firing a gun. Keegan Schoaf was indicted on 1 count of assault and 2 counts of wanton endangerment. He was arrested last month after he was accused of firing multiple shots inside an Elkhorn City home. He's scheduled to appear in court on June 11th. A new court program in the region is taking a different approach to justice, working to open doors and invite conversation about mental health and the justice system. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at the Floyd County resource.
A new special court in Floyd County is working to address a need in the criminal justice system.
Last year, the legislature fully funded 10 new sites in Kentucky, and we were one of the 10 sites actually funded, and we're now started and rolling.
The mental health court has been operating since January, using a structure similar to the county's drug court to provide resources and guidance for people charged with crimes who have underlying mental health concerns.
This program sort of bridges that gap and also bridges the gap with the community and the criminal justice system.
Local partners say the program will not only impact recidivism and recovery rates, but will save lives.
We have complained about the mental health crisis and what it's coming to and where it's put us at in law enforcement on the front line of the mental health issue. So now to see the court systems get involved and getting more people maybe brought to the issue and how it's really affecting the community as a whole.
Saying it is about taking a deeper look at addiction, but also opening the door for a better understanding of mental health.
We don't necessarily have to have all the answers, but we can kind of have a general idea of there's something for us to treat. There's some need that we need to address. And it's
Working
getting
with
something.
professionals to diagnose, counsel, and treat those in need.
So far, 12 out of 12 participants have a co-occurring disorder of substance use and mental health. Now, I know that's not going to always be that way. We will eventually have people with just mental health disorders.
Judge Tyler Green hosted a community forum about the program Thursday, inviting questions and allowing 2 of the 12 participants to share their stories.
I need the accountability, the structure. Coming in and talking to Brandy's a huge help for me. That helps me more than taking any kind of medication. You know, it's I need it. You know, I don't think I would be where I'm at today if it wasn't for this program.
Got the chance to be self-actualized again and see my future potential again. And I'm excited about it, and I'm thankful for the opportunity.
The leaps and bounds they have grown since they've been in this program, that's why we're doing this.
Sharing a courtroom approach that is all about community and advocacy. In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
For more information about the court and its specific requirements, you can head over to our website, WYMT.com. Well, first of its kind blood test to be cleared by the FDA is said to change the way doctors diagnose and treat Alzheimer's disease. Health officials say current tests can be costly and oftentimes unavailable in many communities. The FDA's approval of a blood test with more than 90% accuracy can now be used by doctors to say whether someone has a buildup of Alzheimer's plaques in their brain.
And this all done at the fraction of the cost of what a PET scan would cost, and with the simplicity that by far exceeds collecting somebody's spinal fluid and sending it on for testing.
This blood test is supposed to be cheaper and more available in rural areas. We are told it's also less invasive than a spinal tap or PET scan currently used to diagnose. Earlier this week, Governor Andy Beshear told the Lexington Herald leader that it's a, quote, likelihood that he would call a special session of the state legislature to put aside funding for counties impacted by the recent tornado. A portion of that funding starts with lawmakers in the Capitol, but this year's not a budget year. Repeated severe weather means a special session might be needed, and lawmakers could return to Frankfort before the scheduled 2026 session.
The legislature rightfully wants a lot of numbers and needs them. It's really hard to pull together out of the chaos that is a natural disaster.
Those decisions are made by our House and Senate leadership, but again, I think the General Assembly's shown that we can react quickly. We've helped with the Western Kentucky issues, we've helped with the Eastern Kentucky flooding, and I think this issue would be able to be dealt with as well.
Budgets are passed every 2 years. Last year, the state legislature set up a $100 million cap for emergency disaster spending. The governor said in his Team Kentucky briefing that there is a joint effort with the Budget Office, Emergency Management, and hard-hit communities to try to nail down a more specific number. Well, we do want to remind you about a tornado relief benefit concert happening in London this weekend. The Banding Together concert is at the Wildcat Harley-Davidson on Saturday and Sunday. That address, 575 East Hal Rogers Parkway in London. Local bands and artists will perform from noon until 5 both days. All proceeds going toward tornado relief efforts. There will also be a concert in Corbin this weekend where the proceeds will also go to tornado relief. Halfway to Hazard, Anthony Smith will perform. Nathan Coots and Brock Burton will also join them, as well as the No Handshakes Band on Saturday. The event starts at 6 at the train station. It'll cost $25 to get in. Letcher County school officials request for the government to reconsider the end of the American Rescue Plan elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds was denied. Superintendent Dennis Yantz told WYMT the district had around $3 million left of the $12 million that was allotted to them. The school district planned to use $2.5 million to purchase 25 school buses. Well, Well, deputies with the Perry County Sheriff's Office want to remind you about a new ATV law, which will be enforced starting next month. It applies to special purpose vehicles and ATVs, and that you'll want to drive on a public roadway. The Sheriff's Office posted a picture of the inspection form on their Facebook page that they'll use when they do inspect your vehicle. They also say they'll release more information closer to June 27th, and they can't perform any inspections before then. Grace Community Kitchen is celebrating a decade of service to the Pikeville community. The mission provides 2 weekly meals and a host of community outreach out of the Grace Fellowship Church in downtown Pikeville and serves hundreds of families each week. The program is spearheaded by Pastor Debbie Bailey, and it celebrated its 10-year anniversary yesterday, with those involved saying it's a blessing to know the program continued to grow and adapt to meet the needs of the community. The kitchen serves meals every Monday and Thursday from 11 until 1.
I've gotten feedback over the years of people just reaching out to me and making comments like that we really got them through a tough time, that we helped their family when they were in need. And it's just really heartwarming and encouraging to know that we were able to be there when somebody is at their lowest, to be able to provide the most basic of human needs.
Bailey credits all of the success and growth to God, reminding people in need that the kitchen serves meals every Monday and Thursday from 11 to 1 until 1 at 115 Wolford Street in Pikeville. Well, public pools are opening up across the region, but it might be a little bit longer for some people in Prestonsburg. The pool at Archer Park was supposed to open this week, but because of the February flood, they're still cleaning up. Equipment was damaged and repairs are still needed. Crews were power washing and repainting. They hope to be open by June 7th.
All right, let's get you out the door right now. It's 61 degrees. We have rain being reported at the airport. Our dew point's at 61, and we're sitting at 100% humidity. We have a light south wind at 3 miles per hour. When you get your temperature and your dew point, the number's the same. That's where that patchy fog is coming into play at this hour. Temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s. Look at Whitesburg, 59 degrees, 60 in Pikeville. Prestonsburg, good morning to you. You're at 62 degrees. Here's live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we'll go ahead and take a look here over towards the western part of the viewing area where rain is starting to push through. Here's your bus stop forecast. As you get the kiddos ready for school, 62 degrees. We'll keep that light rain chance in the forecast. Not moving much in terms of temperature, 62 by the time they are on their way home to start the weekend. Again, keeping a rain chance in the forecast. Now, I do have some good news somewhere in the 7-day. We'll talk about that, and we'll go beyond the 7-day coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Amelia.
Well, thank you for joining us at 6:40. We've got more mountain news on the way. There's more elbow room on the Las Vegas Strip, with officials saying there's a dip in tourism, but some say a resurgence is bound to happen.